I don't hate anybody. I think hate is too strong of a word, but there are some things that people do that kind of piss me off a little bit. I'm gonna talk about what each of the 16 personality types do that make me like them a little less. This is just going off my experiences. Your experiences may vary. Trigger warning from this point on. ESTJs and ENTJs are like the human embodiment of the index finger. Nope, nothing there. It always feels like they're mentally poking me every time I have a conversation with them. Being extroverted thinkers, their communication is often straightforward and to the point. But damn, that point is gonna give me a bruise. Their direct manner of communicating can oftentimes feel like a police interrogation. It feels like they're accusing me of something even though I know we're just having a casual conversation. Another thing is that they feel non-receptive to the subject of feelings, be it theirs or others. I don't think it's because they're uncaring necessarily, but more often than not, they don't seem swayed to an appeal to pathos. If anything, they seem more concerned with the events that led up to your current emotional state rather than the emotions themselves. I guess that's their way of trying to help you, but it can still come off as a bit cold. ESFJs and ENFJs are, for the most part, nice people, but they can sometimes come off as a bit fake. Their dominant extroverted feeling has them weighing their feelings against those of others. This can sometimes lead them into putting on a kind of facade of feelings to accommodate those around them. And boy, it can look very obvious at times. I think their frequent mood swings, which they're often cited as having, can be attributed to this kind of mental seesawing of this facade and their actual emotional state. It's like they're perpetually working in customer service. Also, and this is something I've noticed, some of them like to keep tabs of how good of a person you are. It's like they're keeping count of how charitable of a person you're being at any given time. And when they feel like you haven't met this quota of good deeds, they'll either guilt trip or volunteer you into doing things you don't necessarily want to do. I've had that happen way too many times to me back in high school. I don't know, maybe I was just unlucky enough to come across some particularly manipulative EFJ types. Hopefully that's the case. ESTPs and ESFPs, they're just go, go, go all the f***ing time. They have dominant extroverted sensing, which is all about perceiving things in real time. Anytime I'm around them and, I just want to stop and think about whatever crazy situation we're in, they just get frustrated. They just need to keep going, they just need to keep swimming. They're like a freaking shark. There's no off switch. It's hard to have a deep conversation with them because they're either A, not interested in what I'm talking about, or B, they just get distracted easily. They're on their phones, or they talk about my hair, and come on, my hair is not that great. And their tendency to just wing it makes me very anxious. I'm not that much of a risk taker, at least when it comes to physical activities. Truth be told, a lot of what I don't like about them kind of stems from envy. There's a part of me that wishes I can just go YOLO and take all these risks and go to these clubs and do these things while my 25-year-old body can still take them. But the part of my brain that generates the worst case scenario in any situation is kicked into overdrive 24/7. I think that's for the best, but man, I'm not gonna be young forever. ENTPs and ENFPs are just like the ESPs, except instead of physical gymnastics, they're mental gymnastics. Dominant extroverted intuition has them bouncing from idea to idea, concept to concept, juggling all sorts of things, It's a freaking mental circus. There's just no making plans with them. They change their minds so often. They can never settle on one course of action. They become too inconsistent to tolerate at times. And each type have their own flavor of annoying traits, I've observed. All the ENTPs I knew growing up were annoyingly inquisitive. Their favorite question to ask was, why? Why this? Why is that? Why do you feel that way? And I hate when you don't want to give your opinion, and they're just like, what? You don't have an opinion? You don't care? Bullshit! Everybody has an opinion. I have social anxiety and I don't want to share mine right now, thank you. And a lot of the ENFPs I've come across were just annoyingly nonconformist, either due to their values or because they want to do a bit. Oh, look at me everybody, I'm going up the down escalator. It's like, dude, this is not a John Hughes flick. Tone it down on the quirkiness. ISJs have the exact opposite problem. They can be too much of a stick in the mud. Their dominant introverted sensing has them forming attachment to certain details and routines. This can lead them to being very hesitant to break the mold and try new things. And even when they do give something a try, it's not without a whole bunch of skepticism. And they just love to cling to their experiences and impressions, particularly negative ones. My dad had his GPS malfunction one time, 10 years ago. He hasn't used a GPS since. I'm like, Dad, that was one time, many years ago. Stop paying $5 for physical maps at the gas station and let me show you how to use your phone. Also, for some reason, people of this type always make me feel like I'm screwing up in some way, shape, or form. They look like they have their shit together and I'm just left standing here like, what? Was there a form I was supposed to fill out? Was there an assignment due? What is it? They're like freaking model citizens, templates of what a civilized person should be. INTJs and INFJs, man, they are something else. Gonna be stepping on some eggshells with this one. Their dominant introverted intuition has them perceiving these subconscious impressions of how the world works. I don't know why I'm doing this with my hand. This makes them come off as enigmatic and mysterious, like they have a crystal ball in their heads. But they don't. And it's annoying when they think they have everything figured out. Some of them act like they understand things they've never actually engaged with, like they're omniscient.
Your evidence?
I just know.
You just know.
I don't know, at times it feels like this is a sort of defense mechanism so they don't have to do things they don't want to do. Like get on this ride. I don't want to get on that ride. It's scary as hell. One of those chains is gonna break and I'm gonna go flying, and it's gonna be me specifically. Also, nothing is just a coincidence with them. Once they go down a rabbit hole, good luck getting them out of Wonderland. I have an INTJ friend obsessed with mysticism and numerology. And I'll admit, some of it's interesting, you know, the numbers, you know, they align in a certain way, you can see certain patterns, you know. But not everything ties back to it. And INFJs, oh boy. They will never ever miss the opportunity to let you know just how rare their personality type is. Which makes me wonder if they truly are as rare as they claim to be. Because I hear this way too often. Or maybe they're the most likely to gravitate towards Jungian typology. You never know. ISTPs and INTPs. These guys make me feel like an idiot. Having introverted thinking, they're inclined to deconstruct concepts within their own framework of thought to better understand things for themselves. And the way this manifests outwardly can be irritable at times. They seem to be very good at critiquing things, for instance, but never really offer a solution unless they're personally involved with the project. Speaking of which, ISTPs, they don't seem to like help. I offer them a hand, I finish my portion of the work, and they just go back and undo all the work I did and redo it themselves. And often, the end result is the exact same thing I just did. And I'm left standing there like, okay, I guess I'll go f*** off now. INTPs, they just insist on reinventing the wheel. Any facts I bring up, even with evidence on my side, they still don't trust and insist on researching on their own. They're like, I don't know, man. Let me look it up. It's hard to convince them of anything if they don't discover the truth for themselves. Lastly, the ISFPs and INFPs. I don't find them as annoying as I do concerning. Because you don't know what they're feeling. Having introverted feeling means they have deep-seated personal values that they live by. And a lot of these values can't be articulated, they can only be felt by them. A lot of the time, I don't realize I'm stepping on their values until it's too late. I'm sorry, I didn't know you took astrology that seriously. Oh, wait, she's gone. It'd be nice if I had some sort of clue as to what they were feeling. And I think they try to clue you in, but indirectly. I find ISFPs easier to read because their communication is physical and through body language. But INFPs, you need a degree in psychology and English to figure them out. So there's my rant on each of the personality types. Did I get some things correct or incorrect? I don't know if I don't know nothing, so you guys let me know in the comments. And if you liked this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.